Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. So it is time for another haul video. You guys have let me know that you enjoy haul videos, and here we are doing the February one. So this is a big haul video. Originally I had everything stacked here, but I thought, oh my gosh, it's just too much clutter. So I had to move it out of the way and I'll show it one by one. But this was big in volume and big in cost. So I got a ton of stuff, and it's kind of silly because last month was my birthday month. You think I would have gone nuts that month, but no, I do it the next month. So let's just dive in. I'm going to start with my pan pastels. Like I mentioned in yesterday, last month's haul, I am slowly collecting pan pastels that I want to use for backgrounds and whatnot. And I had mentioned if you buy them in like these tubes or sets, how you always get a titanium white. Well, I hadn't had a white yet, so I bought a set of 9. This is the Seascape collection. So it's grays and blues, and I actually needed all of those. That's why I dove for one of these tube sets. But keep in mind, if you buy these tube sets, they all have a titanium white. Like there was a green one I wanted to get, but I don't want another white. It takes forever to go through one of these pans, like forever. So I don't need like 5 whites if I buy all these tubes. So the rest I'll probably buy open stock, but this one I went with because it had all the blues I wanted. One thing I did want to show you though is, take off the lid here. These got a little damaged in shipping. I bought these on Amazon, and it's just the first, there's only 2 that got, crumbled. It's not a big deal though. I'm not going to return it because you can actually press this all back down and it doesn't affect how it goes on your applicator or the paper. It doesn't really affect it at all. It just makes it a little messier, yes, but you can actually sit here and press it all back down and, make it compact again. So I'm not going to return it for that. But real quick, before I start opening all these and making a mess of my desk, you will see 2 spots here, like these big openings. These are the sponges that come with them. So the first one has a triangular sponge, what reminds me of a cheap eyeshadow applicator. They're so hard to use too. A square tip, 2 square tips. Okay, so that's like mixed in the middle. Now one thing to know about these tubes is they're meant to all stay together. So I'll end up swatching and putting labels on the sides so I know which is which, because otherwise it's kind of hard. You won't have lids though. You'll have this top lid, but everything else, this acts as a lid when I put it together. I can, however, buy an empty palette. Like they sell the palettes on their own, and you can do that and stick these in the palette, or you can just buy a set that already comes in the palette. However, they didn't have these Seascapes available in the palette when I was looking. So the first color that is all broken apart, oops, okay, so this one is turquoise, and I'll show you all the colors. Should have done this last because this is going to be the messiest. All right, and see, here's the second one that's broke. You can see how it's all broken apart. It's not a big deal though, because like I said, I can compress it. It's not going to affect anything quality or application wise. This is phthalo blue tint, if I'm saying that right. Polychromos uses that term a lot, and I always get it wrong. This is phthalo blue. This is the word. Phthalo, petalo, I don't know. You know what I mean. Oh man, these things are tight, by the way. Holy moly. Alright, then we have ultramarine blue. And then we have ultramarine blue shade. Take off my little empty one. Alright. Then we have ultramarine blue tint. And real quick, if you're not familiar with pan pastels, So they come in the original color, like ultramarine blue. Then you have a tint, which is lighter. Then you have a shade, which is darker. And then you can actually get an extra dark as well. So one color comes in 4 shades. Do you have to buy them? No, because you could just add black or white to the original color and make tint or shade yourself. I'm lazy. I'm buying the tint and the shade, but just an FYI in case you're curious. All right, so this is neutral gray. And then we have Payne's gray, neutral gray tint. See, add white to that, that's what you get. But I'm lazy, so titanium white. And that's the white I'm talking about that comes in all these tube sets. So unless you want a ton of white, you might want to be selective on which tube you get and then buy open stock. And it looks like this bottom one, so I have a round sponge. Oh, let me make sure everything's on camera. Another one of these applicators and 2 round tips. So it comes with quite a bit of sponges, which is awesome. And all of these colors, it's called the Seascape. These colors work really well together, and the reason I got them is I wanted the blues for backgrounds, you know, sky and whatnot, and same thing with the grays. And I didn't have white, so that was why I was cool with the white. But now I'll probably get the rest of what I want open stock. Maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll get a tube and just say screw it. They are cheaper in the tube. Actually, I'm gonna leave the sponges out, but all right, I'll clean this up and then grab the next part of my pan pastel haul. Okay, if anyone's curious, these are not easy to put back together. I didn't even get it all the way back together before I was like, screw it. So, just FYI. All right, also because I am trying to get more pan pastels, I decided to get more knives because all I have right now, I have just this one knife here, and the one better, like improved applicator, so it's not like the dinky little ones, and this came with like 5 sponges, I think. So I had the one knife that you can technically put any shape thing on, but you're supposed to use the proper tip. Supposed to. So I bought this pack of 4 knives. So this has all 4 of the different kinds of knives. So it has the triangular, the square, the round, and the oval. And then it also came with 2 sponges per type. And then I just bought this 40 pack. So you have 10 of each. Can't math today, but you have 10 of each. And why do I have so many? Well, I bought a bunch because these sponges are super delicate. It's so easy to tear them, but also, you know, you don't want to go from a dark blue to a white or vice versa. And you want the different tips. Like this triangle is so much easier to maneuver into small crevices than the square or the round. So that's why I did it, and they weren't too badly priced, to be honest, so it was worth it. Let's see if I can move those out of the way. Okay, next, I bought these makeup brushes, but these are to brush off my pages. I got 2 of them. The other one's in my other room. Looks exactly the same, so you don't need to see both. They are super soft. All I did was looked for a large blush brush. And I did that because the bristles of these will be super soft, so they won't scratch any medium I put down. But they're also super soft, so they pick up what I brush and they don't drag it. So you don't get streaks when you brush it away. If you use a normal paintbrush, like I usually do, it can if you're not gentle. But this I can be a little bit more haphazard and just go for it. So I got 2 of those to replace my very well-used other brushes. I bought some new flags, which you're like, that's not coloring related. It is for you guys, because this is what reminds me what pages I did for the end of the month. It was like this package of 2,400 tabbies. It was like super cheap. So I just bought it because I was reusing the ones I had. And yeah, they were starting to get a little warped. Okay, this isn't a coloring book, but I wanted to share this with you guys because I color to relieve anxiety and stress. And I bought one of these as a gift for someone. And then I was like, you know what? I should get myself one of these. It's called 52 Lists for Calm. And if you're not familiar with it, it's really cool. It's a journal, but it's a daily, like, inspirational prompt journal. So I'll still write in my normal journal every day, but then also do these lists. So it's got the contents, but you're supposed to do these in order. So the first category is be present. I'm not going to flip through the whole thing, and it has a ton of stuff you'll want to read, but I just wanted to show you an example. List 1. List everything you are thinking about right now. And then it also has an exercise. Cross out all of the things on your list that you cannot do right in this moment. Circle only one thing that you actually want to do right now, or a thought that feels helpful and positive. Go do your one thing, or just hold that helpful thought with you throughout the day. So basically, you're doing a brain dump, and then this is teaching you to let go of things that you can't tackle right now. Like, there's no point thinking or stressing about whatever's on this list if you can't tackle it this instance. So it's a really cool, like, little prompt thing. So you'll have a list always, and then you'll have an exercise that goes with it. So I thought it was a cool book, and I just wanted to share it for those who are maybe not into journaling or find journaling hard. These list books are super helpful, and they also serve a purpose. Like, this one is purposely designed to help you learn to relax and just let go of things. So I was excited to get that. It's not a coloring book, I know, but I got it. All right, so next I got 2 pads of the Arteza marker pad. And you want to know why I got marker pad paper? 1, because I needed it for my ohuhus and printing out stuff, but 2, ta-da! So I have a bunch of open stock Copics, and it is cheaper to buy the Copic Sketch in these 72 sets on Amazon if you don't have an open stock one that overlaps. And so you're like, why would you start with set D? Well, that's the only one that didn't overlap with what I already had open stock. So I have 72 Copic Sketch markers. Won't even fit in the camera frame. Look at that. Woo! That's a lot of markers. I already swatched them. I already used them too. I used them the day I got them. Yeah, guys, I love that they come in this, and you can just store it on, I store it, you know, sideways like this on my shelf, because then all the color names will be facing me. But if you're not familiar with Copics, I will pull one out. Let's get a pretty color. So you have the color name and number on one side, and then you have, you know, Copic Sketch, and it still has the color number, barcode, because they are sold open stock. They're oval shaped, and the side with this little gray line here is your brush nib. See, you can tell I already used it. So it has an awesome brush nib on the other end. Chisel. I don't really use the chisel much, not a chisel person, but I had mentioned in my New Year's resolutions and goals that I was going to start collecting Copics, and I totally followed through. And this set D, I use Honey to track on Amazon. It dropped to $2.99, and I bought it because normally they're about $3.20 on Amazon, which is still cheaper than you can get them from Joe's, Blick, all those art stores. It's still way cheaper. They're Joe's, Blick, and Jerry's are all $4.20 for each 72 set, or about $4.20, I think, maybe a little less. Either way, over $400 there. Amazon, they range from anywhere from $300 to $350, but they usually hover in the $320 range. Well, this one nosedived to $2.99, and it was sold by Amazon. Very important, if you're buying Copic Sketch sets, check the seller name and make sure not just that it's fulfilled by Amazon, but sold by Amazon, because you don't want to deal with the third-party ones. There have been a lot of nightmare stories where people will pay $300-something and they'll get used ones or broken ones. So I only did the ones that were sold from Amazon, and so when that nosedived down to $2.99, I jumped on it and bought them, because that is the lowest it will go. And yes, so I got that set. So combined with my open stock, I have a good collection, and yet I find myself wanting more. It's bad. It's the brush nib of these guys. Like, I'm telling you, this little brush nib here, yeah, no one can beat this brush nib. I'm sorry. I've tried a few other brands, but I have so much control and get such different yet better results with these things than my Ohuhus. That said, I'm still going to use Ohuhu. I love their colors, and I can use these together. These blend with Ohuhus. It's not like oil and water. They're both alcohol markers. They play nice, but yeah, once you use a Copic, then you're like, well, shoot. Now I know why everyone loves Copic. Then again, there are some people that hate Copics, so to each their own. I would not go buy a 72 count set of Copics though. What I did is, my first Copic was a 3-pack from Blick Arts. It was a fusion. They're designed to be blended together. So I bought a pinkish reddish pack and used that, and I was instantly in love with how they blended, how they layered, just everything. And so from there, I started buying more. I suggest doing that, or even going to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and buying 1 to 2 open stock before you go insane and buy a huge pack, because they are one heck of an investment. But in their defense, they have replaceable nibs. You can refill their ink. So when I run out of one, I don't really run out of one. It's an upfront investment, but those ink refills kind of bring the price down long term. I'll get into more of that in a Copic review, because this is a haul video. Okay, so that's it for coloring mediums. But now you can tell why it was so expensive, because I bought a massive pack of Copic Sketch. And yeah, can't wait to use them more. So I bought a few books too, like I need more. I have so many untouched ones. But first one I bought is Secret Garden. And you're probably thinking, why on earth are you buying Secret Garden? It's been around forever. If you've watched any of my Whip Wednesdays, I had mentioned this was the first like adult coloring book I had bought. I had bought this and Color Me Cluttered. Long time ago, I repurchased Color Me Cluttered, but I had never gone back and repurchased Secret Garden. And the reason I repurchased it is I want to recolor the pages I colored in my old one and see how my coloring skills have come along. So that's why I rebought it, and it was like super cheap. I can't even remember, but it was less than $10. So it's like, yeah, why not? It is like still a great book to get if you don't have that one. Okay, I also bought the Colorin' Chicks grayscale coloring book. If you're not familiar with Colorin' Chicks, they do have a YouTube. Well, their artist does, and she'll color her pictures on YouTube, and they are amazing. She uses everything from pencils to markers. But you can buy their PDFs on their Etsy store. However, they have a coloring book now. And I will do a flip through of these in their own videos so that this isn't like an hour-long haul. But just an example, I mean, look at some of these amazing images. I love her artwork, like love it. It is all so pretty. So yeah, I can't wait to color in this. And the paper is not Create Space paper. It's a little smoother and thicker, but I would still probably print it out. I'm not totally sure yet. Okay. I got Whimsical World, big book of 100 illustrations from Molly Harrison. She does these adorable little fairies and mermaids. They're so stinking cute. Look at those things. They're adorable. She has a bunch of books, and this kind of is like a combo of, you know, some others, but I think there's one other 100 book, and this, I just went with this one. It is Create Space paper though, so only certain pencils would I use in the book. Otherwise I'll probably have to scan and kind of print it out. But cute images. It's a very cute book. They, you know, and it goes through all sorts of different seasons. You'll have some Halloween, fall, winter images in here. So yeah, I snagged this one. But she has other books. I am on the fence if I'll buy or not, because like I said, not all of her images are in here. And she has like an autumn grayscale one that has more adult looking fairies that I kind of want to get. So this is another, it's called Whimsical Dreams by Demeta Victoria. It's kind of a more no-name one, but she has a few books out there, and I mainly bought this one. One, I like that it has a black background, but two, I bought this for markers because the images were a lot more simpler and kind of cartoony, so I just felt like they would fit, you know, marker coloring better. Part 2, which by the way, part 2 is repeats. It's kind of like Jade Summer. But either way, I'll do a full flip through of all these books in their own videos. And then the last book I snagged was the Fairy and Fantasy 2 grayscale coloring book by Christine Caron. So it's got all her images that you could also get on Etsy. These are her more recent ones, so you might recognize them because they were on Etsy and a lot of people have printed them and colored them. But if you don't want to go buy the images individually, you can do that. I think it has the preview. Look at that belongs to page. Isn't that pretty? No, this one doesn't have the preview. Her other one had like little preview images, but I was super excited to snatch this one up because I loved a lot of these pictures on her Etsy, but I didn't want to pay $4 for each one. So her books, the paper is smoother, but it's very thin like printer paper, but it doesn't have the same tooth. It's very smooth. So you could totally color inside this book, no problem. But I might print them out just because some of these I want to do different ways or kind of blow them up. See, that's the one on the cover. The fairy. How she does skin is just so whimsical. But yeah, guys, that is my haul. I'm sorry if I spoke really fast. I just didn't want to make it like 3 hours long. But I got a ton of books. What did I get? 5 books, 6 if you count my list book. I've added my pan pastels, more tools, and then of course went a little crazy and bought a bunch of Copics. So, you know, I just like love Copic markers now. I'm so excited. Can't wait to use them more. But Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for all who have been commenting about, like the hauls and telling me the videos you want. Always feel free in the comments below to tell me any type of video you'd like to see, or if you see something in a haul like, hey, I want to see you use those pan pastels or a Copic, color along, anything like that, definitely let me know. I prefer you guys suggest it. It makes it easier, takes out the guesswork. So I love it when you guys tell me the type of videos you like, and then I try to make sure I do those. So thanks guys for watching, and until next time, take care.